Hi everyone, let's talk about Back to the Future Dice Through Time. So I absolutely love Back to the Future. Who doesn't? If you don't, you're probably not watching this, are you? But this is an absolutely wonderful, light, dice-based co-op game. In this kind of line from different designers, but Ravensburger's kind of licensed co-op games, starting with Horrified, which I'm sure I mentioned in that video, I think had a real kind of attention to detail, and it was really apparent that the people making it were, fans of the source material, had a real affection for it in the references to the various movies, which I wasn't as up on for Universal Monsters, but it had a nice little letter on the back of the board and stuff. And in Back to the Future Dice Through Time, it's just as apparent in here. You've got a letter from Doc Brown on the back of the board as you open the box, introducing you to it all. I love all the little DeLorean pieces that we're playing different versions of Doc and Marty from the timelines that are racing around between them, trying to avoid each other. I love there's a little penalty in the rules for if you go to the exact same space in time. Biff is there messing with your plans, and he's got to be dealt with, and is moving around based on these event cards and things. It's a very simple system. There's not a ton of rules to get to grips with. You can just get in there and start playing, and these events are cropping up all over the board. You have to solve them all in one go, so letting them sit there can be bad in terms of moving the out of time marker more, but also if you get 2 or even 3 in events grouping up together, they're going to be really hard to get rid of. And it's not just wanting to get rid of them for the out of time marker. If it turns out that your last item that you needed to put down is in a location you've kind of been ignoring, and there's like 3 events on there, because events stacking up doesn't make it worse for the out of time marker. It's the number of locations that's going to move it forward. But yeah, when it comes to the crunch and, I need to put this there, and not only is Biff there are a ton of events there, and I need to clear all of this out to be considered to win. It's got a lovely, time traveling function in the game in terms of rippling the dice, where any player in the same space in the past can leave dice behind on their turn for people in future turns, which they can use as long as they are in that location. And you've got some flexibility with the dice as well, in terms of you can use any pair of dice as anything. I'll say that it's depending. It's going to depend on your luck, isn't it? And any game where dice are the main function, it's good that you've got certain wild faces, like the wrench can be used as anything you need for an event, and faces like the flux capacitor can move you any time in the same space, or the arrow can move you to any space in the same time. And having that kind of wild is nice. I think I would, in our experience, maybe we're just not great at it so far, but I would like it if it was just maybe any 2 dice can be used as anything, because if you just aren't rolling pairs at all, you can end up really stuck, especially as it comes down to it. But it is meant to be this kind of jump in, this lighter, just go with it fun experience. And I think as much as I love the concept of rippling the dice and doing it, and imagining us being in these different timelines and passing them through to the future, I feel that I've only played this 2-player and solo, which is basically simulating 2 players. I do feel that rippling is going to be much more effective in a game with more players, just because there's going to be more opportunity to do that. There's going to be more people in different places able to use these dice. There's going to be more people leaving dice behind for you to use. I just think that's just going to be much more fun with more players. Not that it doesn't really, it's going to be better, but I don't think that it doesn't work with 2 players. It was very fun, and I loved all of the different references to the events cards, referencing all of the various things from the films. Again, all the different versions of Biff, and although he's just called Biff, it's definitely Mad Dog Buford Tannen from Back to the Future Part 3 in 1885. The references, as far as it's Mr. Fusion is the thing that lets you use your pairs of dice as anything, and the difficulty levels, are all references to things from the films of Nobody Calls Me Chicken is one of the harder difficulties, and they're going to cafes and stuff. It's just full of affectionate references to the series from all of these names for things, from the cards in the game to the presentation of it all, which I think is absolutely fantastic as well. But never mind what I think about any of it. There is a playthrough. There is a full 2-player playthrough that is linked in the description if you haven't seen it yet, and watch some of that, or all of it if you fancy, and let me know what you think of it from there. Make your own mind up from that video, never mind what anything that I said. Anyway, I'm going to go now and film another one of these for a different game. Bye everyone.